small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
KERX, Parents Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
We're still in the hunt. The fat lady hadn't sung yet. She's humming like hell, but she hadn't sung yet.
The Bruins trying to hang an 11th banner at Pauley Pavilion. Meanwhile, it's Arkansas trying to join an elite group of programs that have won back-to-back titles.
The UCLA Bruins are looking to capture their first national title in 20 years. What's standing in their way? The Arkansas Razorbacks, who seek to retain the coveted crown they captured in Charlotte 1 year ago.
He's so versatile. He's hit 5 out of 6 from the field. Diller gunning. Yes. Get Wilson inside. They have Wilson's got an excellent position underneath. McDaniel 3. He's the top man for the Hawks so far with 11. This is what team play is all about. There was a wizard in the stands and some magic on the floor. Jim Eric and UCLA can make a banner in Westwood.
This is the Morning Rush.
You know, we saw UConn win back-to-back national championships. Florida did it back in 2006 and 2007. Arkansas almost did it back in 1995. Today is the anniversary when you lost to the O'Bannon brothers back in Seattle. Tommy, I know the O'Bannon brothers because of 2 reasons. They ruined NCAA football for a while, and they beat Arkansas in 1995 on the 57th NCAA basketball national championship. It was the Bruins' 11th title at the time. They got back, had a pretty good season, or a couple seasons under Howland, played Florida a few times, but just haven't been the same program since. Now you're hoping you can get back to where you're vying for a national title under John Calipari.
That was always a moment I question what trajectory or direction would the program have went several years later had you won that game. Had Nolan Richardson had 2 national titles, would it have played out with the messy end that he had in 2002? I would say no. Or Stephen A. would say, God rest his soul. But I think that the whole dynamic of Nolan Richardson and the way it ended would have been so much different had he had that game go his way, which it should have. Arkansas was the better team. UCLA was dead to rights to Missouri earlier in that tournament. Arkansas was the better team that night, just didn't win the basketball game.
I can remember it as clear as day. I was 3 months old. I was sitting in my mom's arms, and we were watching this game back in Marlowe Manor in Little Rock, Arkansas. And evidently, as a youngster, I was not cheering hard enough for the Arkansas Razorbacks back in the day. But I wanted to tie that in, one, because I think it's interesting, like going back in Razorback history 30 years ago, but also to bring it back to a question I asked couple months ago. It's like, who has a better chance to make a Final Four? Is it the 66-year-old Bruce Pearl or the 66-year-old John Calipari? Well, Pearl's there right now. They're in San Antonio.
And he's been there before with Auburn.
2019, Cal's last Final Four appearance is 2015. I think collectively, now I don't want to make light of Sweet 16 and second weekend appearances of what Cal was able to do this year and hopefully in years to come. But I think collectively, we as fans would consider it a disappointment if John Calipari and this roster at some point and this coaching staff didn't make a Final Four. Is that a pretty sensible thought? Like if he spent 5 or 6 years, the NIL investment, the amount of money Mr. Tyson, Mr. Stevens had to spend to get him here, I think that's an okay thing for me to say. I don't think that's a bridge for me to do too far to say.
No, I don't know that you went a bridge far enough.
You think it's a national championship?
I think if you spend that kind of money, I guess it's relative. But if you told me that kind of investment over a 5-year span, yeah, I mean,
I think it's to go back.
But just because you have an expectation, I mean, okay,
doesn't mean it's going to be met.
If it doesn't get met, so what? Oh, well, Ty and Tommy are upset down there, on the radio, so we're gonna fire somebody. I mean, just because you get disappointed doesn't mean anything's going to change.
You go back to that 95 game against the UCLA Bruins. Coach Richardson's talked about this openly. Usually he was fire and brimstone a lot of times before games, but he had just, and you might have to help me on this. He had just gotten like a Hall of Fame or some award or something, and he talked about changing the tone of a pregame speech or like the day before and stuff. It wasn't his typical things. And
I think he was named Coach of the Year, if I remember.
That might have been, and he said he regrets that to this day, which I just find interesting. And like you, I tend to wonder, like I've done with Bobby Petrino, if they'd won the Sugar Bowl, or Coach Richardson if they'd won that, or 69 if you beat Texas. I mean, it's what we do as Arkansas fans. We think about, hey, what could have happened if we had actually won this actual game? But now, and as we look to the present, San Antonio, Texas this weekend, the Auburn Tigers, the Florida Gators, Florida familiar with the Final Four. Bruce Pearl took the Tigers back, I guess, in 2019. Duke very familiar with the Final Four. And then I guess you got to go all the way back to Phi Slamma Jamma since Houston's been there. It's been 40-something years. But you also have this interesting dynamic, which I find intriguing. It's like the Young Bucks versus the Old Heads. Sampson 69, Pearl 66, Golden's 39, Shire's 37, I think it is. Yeah. So you've got got this balance between not only Pearl is coaching his former director of basketball ops, but you've also got the age difference too.
Who is the OG now in college basketball? And I asked that because it was easily Coach K, Roy Williams. Those were the first two names that would come to mind. I asked that question a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Who is the OG now in the game? It's got to be. I mean, Cal's amongst that conversation.
They were all three in Providence.
Patino, Self won 3 years ago. Patino was trying to get his fourth team to a Final Four, kind of like Cal. I would say if you asked that question a decade ago, it's still John Calipari, but it's watered down.
Is Bruce Pearl in the OG? I don't think of him that way.
Here's what I would say about Pearl. Auburn has Chuck Persons, Charles Barkley. Like, what else do you think of Auburn back? Like, there's no history there. Well, outside of
Pearl, couple Final Fours.
Yeah. 2019 and now, and that's it. To my knowledge.
How many national titles? Zero. I don't know that you can be a part of the true OG. Because I think it is an interesting dynamic, the age part of it, for the Final Four. But basketball really doesn't have an old guard right now from a coaching standpoint.
And that's,
if I'm missing somebody, clue me in on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. But I mean, you think, and your point is of the three being, Patino, Calipari, Bill Self, those three that were in Providence. Who else is even kind of in the conversation now that Coach K, Roy Williams, what other big basketball retirements? Boeheim,
Jay Wright. That's four.
Was he old enough though was he on the scene long enough?
I mean, he won 2 national championships in a 3-year span.
Yeah, but
he wasn't.
He wasn't a. He didn't span it over a couple decades. Izzo's in this conversation of OG, but that your point. And look at how many of those were around for the second weekend of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So experience still matters.
Yes, but there is a change in young guard. And Hurley kind of splits that. He's not an old guard, but he's not. I mean, Hurley's in his 40s.
But he's only been on the scene a short time.
Yeah, it's kind of
a lot of success, but very bottled up in a short span.
Hog Wild and Arkansas Dave chimed in with Izzo.
Izzo's got to be there. But I think he's only got one natty.
Calhoun is another retirement. Yeah, that was way back in 2000. They have not had as much near the success as that.
Ton of Elite Eights and Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm. And I think for like when you bring this back, when you bring this conversation back to Fayetteville, you've obviously got someone in the old guard and John Calipari, who is 66 years old. I can't remember how many seasons he's got under his belt. I think it's 30 something. I know he always jokes about 20, but then Z gives him a hard time about that. But like the question I had when he got here is like, okay, can we get out of this second weekend rut? Because he hadn't been to a second weekend since 2019. He did that in year one, right? So now the next question is, well, Cal hasn't been to a Final Four in a decade. Can you get back to a Final Four? Last Final Four appearance at Kentucky was in 2015. That team that went undefeated all the way up to losing to Wisconsin. Like, that's the next step. That's the next hurdle. And that might be unfair to ask in year two. I'll fully acknowledge that. But you already got over this one rut, this one hurdle in year one in Fayetteville. That's the next step. And as we think about what's going to happen this weekend between the Cougars and the Blue Devils and the Gators and the Tigers, I mean, that's where you want to be. You want to be in Indianapolis in 2026. I forget where I think Vegas is 2028. I don't remember where 2027 is, but I mean, that's the next step. And I hate that it's that quick of a jump, but that's where it's at next.
Looking at the Bet Saracen app and the odds for this weekend's action, Florida favored by 2.5 over the Auburn Tigers. Over unders just inside 160 at 159.5. And Houston, the other matchup is catching 5.5. The underdog to the Duke Blue Devils 5.5. I think the money line on Houston at plus 200 might be a enticing pick. I'm going to be in Vegas.
Are you going to bet on? Are you going to?
I'm going to be
in
in
see
Vegas.
Treasure Island, Tony?
I might.
Might as well.
Good idea. Bet Saracen's the official sports betting app of the Morning Rush. Be sure to download that and have some fun this weekend with all the live action with Bet Saracen.
I know there's a lot of speculation right now with the roster. People are wondering what people are doing. We've seen a couple guys transfer out. What about Boogie Flan? He's our opening drive.
Flan's off a screen, top of the circle, buries the three-pointer. Boogie Flan got a high ball screen, drained the three, and Arkansas is within 5. Flan with a steal, Boogie to the other end, and lays it up and in.
Wow.
Arkansas gets the bucket, and they call a foul. He feeds Flan in the corner for 3, and it's good. Boogie Flan knocks it down, Arkansas by 10.
This is the opening drive.
You know what that game's from, right? Pretty easy to figure out.
Would have been St. John. Was that St. John?
No, Michigan game. Michigan game, where he had an outstanding performance. His hometown,
slept a few times since then.
New York, the game you were at, and he was unbelievable that game. So if you look on draft boards right now for Boogie Flan, because I pretty much expect him to go, but I think we have to get out of this mold of being like, oh, first or second round guy, he's for sure out the door. Now, Cooper Flagg's not coming back to school. Like, Duke fans can wish and wishing well all they want. He's the number one pick. He's not coming back to campus in Durham, North Carolina.
You breaking news here?
No, I'm not breaking news. I'm just pointing out the obvious. But Boogie is an interesting, I don't know if case study is the right term to use here, but this is a guy that, like, on ESPN right now, he's 38th overall. CBS Sports has him at 26. Bleacher Report has him at 44th. Tankathon has him at 30th. He's not listed on Yahoo or another CBS Sports ranking. So, again, you have to kind of identify writers' opinions and analysts' opinions versus what actually matters, scouts, GMs, agents, whatever else, where the kid can actually draft it. I think, and Cal is probably going to have the same approach Muss did. It's like, hey, not that we don't want you to come back, but you need to do what's the best for your future. So I guess my question is, what is the best for his future? Is it to go now and be a late first round, early second round potentially? Or is it to come back and expand, hopefully play beyond and not have an injury like he did for 15 games this past season? What is the best route for Boogie Flan?
Is lottery 12 picks or 14? I
think it's 14. I think because Moses was the 14th pick for the Warriors, I believe. Colton, double check me on that, but I'm 99% sure it's 14.
I think you want to have have it on your resume. You're a lottery pick. The financial deals are much different than the rookie deals you're going to sign later on. And you start getting down there. I mean, you can come back to college and make it 7 figures.
And B, ask an important question. What does Boogie have to gain by coming back to Arkansas for an area? Well, the money you just brought up, and then like the potential to be drafted higher. Now there is I don't know if it's a likelihood, but there is a potential that he could fall, which could happen.
But you also, once you go pro, you've closed the door on going back. You keep your options open, at least the other direction. But I don't think I go unless I'm top half first round.
Well, BE says look at Anthony Black. Anthony was way higher projected than Boogie was. Anthony is 6'7" and is just a physical specimen. AB could play deep. He's not going to have an issue guarding people. Still needs to work on a shot, and that's an area Boogie needs to work on as well. But that's the first question BE asked here. Our Lewis Automotive Group hotline is, it's like, what does he have to gain? Does he feel like the pros of coming back to campus outweigh the cons that could follow coming back to campus with the guards that you're bringing in too?
If you're afraid of competition, then you're not a lottery pick. If you're afraid of who's coming in,
there's some truth. Yeah, there's truth to that.
Well, I don't know that there's anything. That may be a lot. If you're that afraid of who they're bringing in, then we don't need to be really having this conversation. You need to come back because you're not ready. If you're afraid of who they're bringing in, who has not played a college game yet, and you've got a year of, more or less a year. I know the injury really didn't give him the full year, but you know what I mean? Got a year in the system under your belt, and you're worried about who they're bringing in? You're not NBA ready if that's even part of your process.
Jeremy in Clarksville says, here's the problem. Darius Acuff, in his opinion, is better than Boogie. And then we have the other high school card, Malik Thomas, coming in, plus Isaiah Sealy. It would be better for Boogie to come back and move up the draft, but not better for us. He said, would say Brazil took a step back, I guess, from coming back.
But would those practices and that competition in practice be better for your development or the G League? Where would you see a better practice, a better pickup game this summer?
I mean, it's still G League.
You think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's still it's kind of like
that's going to be a pretty good collection of talent here, guys.
It's the and you're right. I don't want to diminish what Cal's going to have on campus because this recruiting class is going to be higher. But that's like the age old question: could the 0-17 Cleveland Browns lose to Alabama? The answer to that is no every time. People just to make that.
I don't. But maybe you're right. But with the G League, I don't. How much coaching and attention and facilities and development and all of those things, where you're more likely to hone your skills. They got 92 coaches up here.
Yeah,
they've got like 2 coaches.
They added another row.
Yeah, I know it. I mean, they go 3 deep on the bench with coaches, 3 rows deep. So
will Arkansas be the only school in the SEC that spends more in basketball than they do?
They got more. Yeah, they got more basketball coaches than football coaches.
Oh man.
So what's that worth to your improvement? I think the process and the whole thing with who you're going to practice against, who you compete against on a daily basis, there's real value in that in Arkansas.
By the way,
we talked about that with Trevin Brazil last year. Look what the kind of player he became at the end of the year. You got to believe those. I think it worked against him early and put him to where he was late.
All right, let's talk to Kevin, who's in Rogers here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Kevin, do you have any stock advice before we get going?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
I hope you're doing good. Hey, Tommy.
Hey.
So, not to give you a little trivia, but of all the coaches that are in this tournament, do you believe that Bruce Pearl's the only one that's been to the Final Four? Is that correct?
Golden might have been on staff.
But as a head coach?
Okay.
No, hang on.
This just shows you that you're talking about gangsters, but Ty said, yeah, that's why I'm going to get you. Ty said that they hadn't been to a Final Four since Phi Slamma Jamma. This is the second Final Four in 5 years that Houston's been in the Final Four.
Yeah.
So Kelvin Sampson's a heck of a coach, good friend of Calipari. I mean, we got to be looking. If he wins the national title, he's got to be in that coaching fraternity that you guys are talking about, I think. And I'm not a big Houston's fan, but I mean, I don't like Duke. I'm kind of like you guys.
I think your comment there's fair enough.
And I want to clarify. I said I don't think they have. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Were they there? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I was wrong.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Is that 2 years ago, Kevin, or last year?
No, it was actually the year that Muss's first Elite Eight year. We lost to Baylor when they won the national title. in 21 they were in the
Okay.
Final Four.
So it was Gonzaga,
with
Houston, Baylor, and I'm forgetting the other.
And was it San Diego State?
No, they were there 2 years ago with John L. and Florida Atlantic. But yeah, now that you say that makes sense. I just can't. Gonzaga or UCLA might have been. Might have been UCLA. I can't remember who that.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it was UCLA.
They came from first quarter Final
was
Four.
That's right.
Yeah, that was. I think that was Mick Cronin's first year.
Hang on, this is Kelvin Sampson's third Final Four, guys. It's third.
Yeah.
Not a second.
Yeah.
His second with Houston. It's his third Final Four.
He didn't take it was in Indiana, Oklahoma?
Oklahoma in 02.
02. Man, that's
2002, 2021, and then 2025.
So again, that is Kevin, appreciate the call. That is again the dynamic that we've been talking about. You've got Golden 39, Shire 37, very much green in their coaching days. They've coached. I mean, Golden's coached under Pearl, Shire coached under Coach K, played under Coach K, and then you've got Sampson, who's been around 30 plus years. And
He's been around a while.
And I forget how long. Let's see, Pearl's been around for 21 in the head coaching ranks. So that's what you got ahead for you this weekend in San Antonio, Texas.
All right, that's your opening drive. It's brought to you by the Inn at the Mill. 479-443-1800 is their number if you're looking for a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas for business or maybe just a weekend away. Great oversized suites, convenient location. If you want to be in the Bentonville-Rogers area, 10, 15 minutes. You want to be on campus for a game, 10 minutes away. Great restaurants all around you. If you're going to a Naturals game, it's, just 2 or 3 minutes away from the Inn at the Mill. So perfectly located at exit 69 off I-49 in Springdale. So stop in and see them, the Inn at the Mill, or call 443-1800 to book your appointment, or book your reservation, rather. And you can also book online, innatthemill.com. If you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, it's powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. Get the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
Kevin kind of steamrolled over my initial question. Do you have any stock advice for us, Tommy Kramer? Do you have any Mad Minute stuff you want to go for us this morning?
Have
you not gotten on your phone or anything?
No,
I've gotten blown up with text. I can't make heads or tails of any of it, but a lot of my friends are not happy as of this morning. I figured you'd come in spitting fire and
listen. I just don't let it emotionally swing me. I just don't. So I mean, because if you lose money or you gain money, it's on paper. You haven't made anything or lost anything till you sell it. So I certainly get that. Hey, the Fence Man's going to be in here Friday for our Fence Man Friday picks about this time tomorrow, about 24 hours from now. Over all the games for the weekend. Hey, I was with the Fence Man over at their facility yesterday. They are growing and expanding. They've added more crews. Security fencing's a big deal right now. A lot of people want security fencing for home and work. They can do it for you, whether it's ornamental iron or chain link and razor wire. They are doing a lot of security fencing. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Yeah, I think that's a good take, Ty, and I don't say that often.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing. I am going to have fun.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory. Inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
7 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody move victory. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Well, yeah, he won't be pitching for a while. I can just tell you that.
That was Dave Van Horn after Tuesday's game on the status of Parker Coyle. Gibbler added this on getting one of his fellow pitchers back.
With Parker, I really hope he gets a fast recovery. You know, we need him on the bump, but I'll step into any role I need just to help the team win.
relatively, and knock on wood, you've had a healthy season thus far. I know pitchers, they are the ones that typically get injured throughout the season, whether it's here in Fayetteville or anywhere else in college or professional baseball, for that matter. I think really it's the health of the games this weekend, Tommy. That's the bigger question. Like, we were just talking about it during the break, what that looks like. Is there going to be a doubleheader on Saturday or Sunday? Just a heads up. I got this from the SEC. The SEC says for a new inning can't start after 4:30 p.m. Central on Sundays, giving schools time to travel so athletes on Monday can get back to campus as well. So when it comes to kind of what the dynamics look like for this weekend, it's very much up in the air based on the weather.
Well, on Sunday, it makes it difficult, but generally speaking, they don't start a lot of games before noon on Sunday, maybe forced to, because that's the one day. Let me get my phone here, but I think that's still the one day, unless something's changed overnight, that you didn't have a big prediction of rain. So getting two in on Sunday might be darn near impossible. But baseball's not like we think about it in pro terms, where you could end a game, in the sixth inning or seventh inning with rain. Now they got the run rule now, so that helps in conference games. But if you have a game that's suspended due to weather in the third inning, you're going to pick it up there. It's or let's say it was 5.5 innings. We think of it in pro terms. That game doesn't become official. You got to play it out unless the run rule gets in play. But right now in Fayetteville, it looks like chances of rain, for every day this weekend. So hopefully you can find some windows, dodge it. But Friday, a 60 or 95% chance, 90% chance on Saturday, and a little bit less, 60% chance on Sunday. So not looking great.
Hopefully the weather.
You got 3 days to play 3 games.
Yeah, forecast is just wrong. We'll have to wait and see on that. Football is back in action. They're back from spring break and spring practice. One of the new offensive linemen, Caden Kittler, trying to get acclimated to this football team. Here's what he had to say about your starting quarterback, Taylon Green.
He's always grinding, always working on his craft, always watching film, doing something to help the team. So just seeing that, me and Taylon met a long time ago, so he helped me in the recruitment process as well. So, just his commitment to the game is honestly inspiring, and it makes me want to do better as well.
There's going to be a lot of player verbiage and coaching verbiage here in the next few weeks, and same with fall camp and everything else. But our focus has been really on Arkansas basketball lately. Now shifting a little bit towards baseball with SEC play and the team being as dominant as they've been, but you kind of have to reshift some of your focus to what's going on with this football team. And like baseball, a lot of times in spring, you're just not hoping, or you're hoping for the team to make it through without any injuries or whatnot. But they are back and practicing this week. Yeah. And Sam Pittman is today. I'm forgetting what time he is, but Colton, you might have to help me on that. But he is speaking with the media today, so we'll have some stuff tomorrow from him as well.
Tom was with us earlier in the week, and we were talking about just the installation of Bobby Petrino's offense with all the new people, how detailed it is. How much do you got to go back and reteach some stuff after the week or so off? So where can they pick up where they left off, and how much can you add? This is a major calendar point for them to get the installation of the offense with all the new guys in, and then try to take Taylon Green to the next level. These are important things right now, just to not have to start from scratch again in August.
All right, a couple other things. Golf-wise, John Daly, the second, or John Daly Jr., was named the SEC Golfer of the Week, and then also Kendall Todd was named the SEC Women's Golfer of the Week. So on the men's side and the women's side, Tommy, you wrapped up the one. I think Daly was a SEC Golfer of the Week. I think Kendall won it outright, but you did get both the awards this week from your golf teams here in Fayetteville.
And that's a sport we don't pay a lot of attention to, but they're another one of those sports up there, both on the men's and women's side, that are kind of bumping that glass ceiling, kind of like softball. They're just trying to break through to the next level, and I think you're going to see a golf national championship at some point.
So, how we talk about the SEC football being as rigorous as it is. Basketball's turned into that this year. We've seen 2 teams make it to the Final Four. Baseball's been that way. The last 4 national champions, I think it's like last 5 of 6 or 6 of 7, whatever it is. it kind of helps that they're playing on the blessings and practicing every day, right? As tough as that course is. I mean, you play, I don't know what golf competition the SEC is like, just to be perfectly honest, but you always talk, when neither of us have actually played that course, but we at least heard horror stories to a certain extent how difficult it can be.
It is challenging there. And yeah, I mean, is the course very difficult and helps them prepare? Sure. But they have a tremendous facilities package out there. The indoor.
It is nice. I've been there.
They have got a really sweet setup to work on their game. So it all goes together. They've got the tools they need to be successful, and I think we've seen that.
All right, that's your Hog Update. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
All right, it's 9:34 here on the Morning Rush. We got more to get to as we head down towards our second hour of the show. Halftime coming up in a little bit as well with Phil and Matt. We're brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. They have got all the top quality aggregates you need: asphalt, ready-mix concrete. Whether you're working a small residential project or a big, large-scale commercial job, they can get the sand, the gravel, and the ready-mix concrete to the site for you. 479-587-3300. They have full construction consultant services to help you as well. 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
Taco Bell's new Caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
How important is this weekend for Arkansas baseball? I mean, they're all important because you only got 10 of them in the SEC. So I get that kind of rhetorical part of it. But you're playing Missouri. You're at home, one of your coveted 5 home weekends. We got the threat of rain. I was looking at the rain projections a little deeper during the break, and gosh, Ty, I mean, on Friday, probably no chance to play this series. There is rain and heavy rain, like 2.5 inches in Fayetteville projected all day Friday. Saturday, rain all the way up till mid-afternoon at best. And then Sunday, you can play. My point is this.
He's like, you can play golf and they can play baseball.
But you've got Missouri, a series you should certainly win and maybe sweep. If you lose these games, it makes the difficulty of what you have to do to keep up with Georgia, to keep up with Tennessee, to keep up with the other teams at the top that, if they miss a series, they're probably not going to have a series that would, I hate to use the word lay down, but this Missouri series is one you should win 3, right? They're an 0-9 team.
Be the most
Should I not? Why am I stressed out a little bit about this? Because I know how tight this SEC race is going to be.
I don't care what Sam Pittman says. I don't care what Dave Van Horn says. I don't care what John Calipari says. It's hard to get a team geared up for a terrible team. It just is. But that's why there's letdowns in sports. So it would not surprise me at all with the weather, with the caliber of team you're playing, if you lost one of these games.
No, I'm worried about not getting to play the games. So then you have a 28-game SEC record versus everyone else's, perhaps 30. And I think there's going to be weather issues across the conference.
Well, think about
it.
And
if you lost 2 of these 3 this weekend, and you only get to play one.
That's fair.
I'm just saying when it gets down to it at the end,
especially since your schedule's backloaded.
That's what I'm saying. You need these wins in the 30-game race, and I'm just a little tense about it.
Is there?
And I'm assuming 3. And that's a bad assumption on my part.
Is there an indoor baseball facility in Northwest Arkansas?
Yeah, it's right behind the. It is right behind. You can't play in the outfield.
They can play in the track center.
No, they got their indoor baseball up there. No outfield, obviously.
Yeah, that. Well, I was going to say, I feel like the track center is like bigger, right?
Push those bleachers back. Get rid of those.
That was where my head went when it came to when it came to that, because, that's I get it from your vantage point. I think at the end of the day, like, you care about a national seed, right? It's kind of funny though. Dave, I think, it's either 6 or 7 World Series, and it's basically split down the middle of. Well, some of them he had to travel, some of them they were at home when it came to getting that. So he showed that if you can get to Omaha both ways, but in the midst of the SEC season right now, you want to take advantage of an 0-9 Missouri group before you play top dog Georgia, top dog Texas, top dog LSU, and top dog Tennessee. I mean, your end of the season is Texas at home, Baton Rouge, and Alex Box, and Tony Vitello, and the number 1 team in the country coming down.
So these wins are going to matter.
Yeah.
And, they're not going to be losses if you don't get to play them, but they're not going to be wins either. They're not just going to award Arkansas a victory. It rained, but Arkansas would have probably won the game. We'll just go ahead and give them the dub. They're not going to do that.
Ryan in Prairie Grove says I should call the Tennessee station again and blow Vitello out, even though he's going to be our next head coach when Dave's retired. Not to put Dave in retirement mode, but I will say that has been something that is so intriguing to me, what route that Hunter Yurachek goes when Dave eventually decides to hang it up. And that could be 10 years, that could be 5. I have no idea what's in Dave's head when it comes to that. But, like, what route does he go with the future of this baseball program? Does he stay with Matt Hobbs? Does pluck Wes Johnson out of Athens? Does he get Vitello out of Tennessee? I don't think he'll leave Knoxville. That, again, cart in front of horse, but just something it's fun to speculate about. So, again, Tommy's question, your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question, how important is the games this weekend? Yeah, like you said, I mean, if you want to be a national seed, top 8, if your
I
record,
just hate to miss the opportunity. That's where I'm coming.
No, you're valid in that thought. All right, Cart Pass Social. Tommy mentioned it raining. It's been raining last day or so. It's going to be raining the next few days. If you need a place to not just watch Arkansas baseball, you can watch the Final Four this weekend. You can hang out, you play Augusta Nationals. We get ready for the Masters next week. Cart Pass Social is the place to be. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. These are 2 Rogers guys, Nate Gerhan, Christian Olson. They're my age. They're actually doing something with their lives, unlike me. You need to go see them.
Hey.
You need to go see them. Self-deprecation is part of this. So cartpasssocial.com, the number 1 indoor golf destination in Arkansas. Jason is in Marshall this morning here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Jason, how bad is it coming down in Marshall this morning?
Right now it's just starting. It's just a light rain at the moment, but it did get pretty wild last night.
Yeah, up northeast, particularly the northeast corner, Jonesboro area, the tornadoes. I mean, it was really rough up there. It was on the national news this morning.
Yeah, Lake City got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna call, and it's something I've heard my whole life, and I never really bought into it too awful much, and I started thinking about it. But the Heartbreak Hog thing. Because you got the 98 SEC championship with Clint Storner's fumble.
What could have been?
And then you got the 2011 Sugar Bowl with the punt that got blocked that he could have scooped and scored.
Julian Horton, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the 2018 National Championship with the pop fly that we dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 16-point lead we blew with Texas Tech. And all them losses, it comes down to just seems like some freak thing happened.
Did you mention Reggie Fish in there?
Yeah, that one's the worst.
No, I did not.
That's my Sternover. That's my 69.
Let's not leave the 06 game.
Yeah, just imagine having to go to Cotillion after that and just wanting to hang yourself in the middle of everyone. That was what I felt like that night. That was awful.
Yeah, and I don't believe in the whole curse thing, but you can't tell me it don't seem like there is some sort of supernatural force. The craziest things happen to this should never happen. Like, the pop fly is one of the craziest things.
So Arkansas, and here's a stat for you, Jason, and it's kind of add to your point. Since 1992, when Arkansas joined the league, this doesn't include Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Every team since 1995 has won a national championship in football, basketball, or baseball in this conference, except you. Now, we played the clips earlier from Coach Richardson's appearance and his team in 95 where they almost went back-to-back, which hasn't been done a lot in college basketball. But, yeah, there's a feeling amongst Hawk fans it's like you're waiting on something bad to happen. And not that our goals every year in each of the three sports be a national championship, but I do feel like that Arkansas fans will feel a sigh of relief if Dave or Cal win one. It'll almost be like, man, all this pain has been extinguished. And not that there hasn't been good times. That'd be a lie. Like, there's been plenty of good times with this basketball program the last 5 years. I mean, they beat St. John's to get there in Providence. Baseball team's been to Omaha countless times under Dave Van Horn. But, I mean, if the goal is to win a national championship, unfortunately, this athletics department is coming up short for, 30 years? And you're hoping that it eventually happens.
Yeah, I'm just ready to see us win a championship in one of the three major sports. And I'm 25 years old and still waiting, so.
I don't blame you.
We're in line with you, buddy.
Yeah. Jason, appreciate the call. If you want to jump in here, Lewis Automotive Group hotline open, 877-377-6963. So, like, you have a, like, there's, I don't know if there's two factions of this fan base. It's like half negative, half positive. Like, I am genuinely happy about what Cal was able to accomplish in the postseason because I kept coming back to, well, man, last time he got to a second weekend was 2019. Now, again, the next step, as I alluded to earlier, and I don't know if it should be this quick, but it's like you hadn't been to a Final Four in a decade. Can you take that next step in year two?
Do we really care what he did in the past?
Yeah, because it shows an indication of what's going to happen in the future.
I don't
buy
into that.
Well, why? Okay, then here, let me
because
frame
what
it.
happened in the past didn't have NIL, didn't have portal, didn't have all those things.
And you're right. And he's part of the old guard, like Bruce Pearl, like Kelvin Sampson, that still wants to be here in the college basketball circuit where other guys have gone.
They're willing to adapt.
Rick Pitino's another one. I asked him, I was like, man, you're 72 years old. What keeps you driving? What keeps you that way? But I think my thought is like there's reasons that he was able to have success back then, like you're talking about, and then like in the new age, you're like you just alluded to, you at least saw in year one that there can be success despite a flurry of injuries, things going against you to start the conference play. And now you're going to have
toughest league ever.
Yeah, you're going to have a better recruiting class, at least at a high school grassroots. We'll see what happens with this Nate Ament kid. By the way, we got a text earlier from John in Mount Home about Keyshawn Hall. He's heading to Auburn. He signed with Auburn yesterday, which sucks, or this morning, whatever it was. So you still don't know who's coming in here in terms of your transfer portal class.
I think people are more concerned and more watching who's leaving. And my answer is I don't know that anyone else beyond Z is leaving for the portal. It's the NBA side that, we don't have answers on yet.
Okay,
it may not for a while.
So you think about, Duke's kind of the and Florida, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Florida's roster looks like relative to what it was last year and the year before under Golden. I think this is his year 3. But Auburn, I mean, Broom's been there forever. Cardwell's been there forever. Baker Mazzaro's been in college basketball forever, but he's been in Auburn the last year or two. I mean, a lot of those guys are veterans, and then Duke's doing it the freshman way. So it's got to be that combination. I would argue, as excited you are about Acuff, Malik Thomas, and a kid, Springdale's own Isaiah Sealy, Arkansas's own Isaiah Sealy, like those kids you just referred to getting back on campus, if they feel like it's in their best interest to stay and you can convince them, that's bigger than any transfer kid you could get, right? Just to have that continuity and knowing what Cal expects and that you can have one of the more veteran teams in the league next year.
Well, I just, I'm excited to when we get, the coaches are all going to be in San Antonio. I don't know how much is going to happen over the next 5 days or so in regards to players. But I think when you kind of get some guys in that window and when they can put their name in and take their name out and all of these things, it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster.
And
emotionally for a while.
on that, Tommy, How long does Cal give these kids? Like, hey, when do you say, hey, this is the date you have to tell me whether you're going or staying
As long as there's players he feels as good or better, that, but when you start slipping there, he's got to do something. Hey, if you're craving something sweet and delicious, even on a wet, rainy day, Andy's Frozen Custards on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, Conway, and in North Little Rock is there for you. Get the mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for a treat that you and your family will enjoy during the game or just as an after-dinner treat tonight. That's Andy's Frozen Custards, Fort Smith, Conway, and in North Little Rock. And download the Andy's app. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custard.
Hour 2 of the Morning Rush rolls on. Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get up to $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A particularly dangerous flooding situation setting up today through Sunday. We could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. Some folks could see up to 15. So showers will increase and intent will be in the 60s today. Showers and storms with very heavy downpours tonight. We drop into the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
We're still in the hunt. The fat lady hadn't sung yet. She's humming like hell, but she hadn't sung yet.
The Bruins trying to hang an 11th banner at Pauley Pavilion. Meanwhile, it's Arkansas trying to join an elite group of programs that have won back-to-back titles.
The UCLA Bruins are looking to capture their first national title in 20 years. But standing in their way, the Arkansas Razorbacks, who seek to retain the coveted crown they captured in Charlotte 1 year ago.
He's so versatile. He's hit 5 out of 6 from the field. Dillard gunning. Yes. Get Wilson inside. They have Wilson's got an excellent position underneath. McDaniel 3. He's the top man for the Hawks so far with 11. This is what team play is all about. There was a wizard in the stands and some magic on the floor. Steve Herrick and UCLA can hang a banner in Westwood.
This is The Morning Rush.
All right, today's the 30-year anniversary of the 1995 basketball championship between your Arkansas Razorbacks and the UCLA Bruins. Unfortunately, didn't go the Hogs' way that night as you fell to the O'Bannon brothers and the Bruins. Arkansas defeated in that game 89-78. Pretty crazy that Razorbacks were on the brink of back-to-back national titles, as you heard Jim Nantz there. Tommy's favorite broadcaster, not Ian Eagles, I've learned this week.
It's fine. He's just boring. He's low energy, low key.
Pep you like it. You like energy. You like pepping.
Well, I mean,
pepping the
for
step.
a guy that loves Gus Johnson,
who has
too
don't,
much.
I don't disagree. It's fun. I just think it's funny because when I start being nerdy and talking about broadcasters, you're usually like, I don't care, whatever.
Puts
but
me to sleep.
In this situation, it's like, oh, I don't like Ian Eagles. So I'm actually glad you brought this up. But I think we both are under agreement that we wish Kevin agree with each other that Kevin Harlan was.
That's just because he gave you 5 minutes of his time last week.
I liked him before that, but he just.
But you love him now, don't you?
I do love him.
Yeah, y'all
now.
are buddies. Y'all text buddies now. You text.
And forth? You know what, man? I feel weird like asking for guys that I'm a second they ask for your number. Like the second time.
Yeah.
Now, not with females, but like
Yeah.
if
That'd be the fourth
if it's a professional
time, yeah.
colleague or like someone that I want to interview, it's usually, hey man, do you care if I grab your number? We'd love to have you on the show. Usually pretty. Again, there's only one tool.
How many say no?
There's one.
One?
And he sucks. He's the most arrogant, egotistical.
Then why did you want to have him on the show?
Because I didn't realize that until I met him.
Oh, but he became that when he wouldn't give you
No,
his number.
there's been a couple occasions, and he's good at what he does, but he's just a D canoe. Everyone knows what word I want to use before that, but it's Andy Staples. He sucks. Like I've met so many people in the industry, and he's the only one that I was like, that's a tool. And dude, you're a Florida offensive lineman.
Colton, get Andy Staples on the phone for us.
Like, congratulations.
Immediately.
He has the biggest ego of anyone I've ever met that's irrelevant to college football in his playing days.
I don't know if he can compete with the people that work here, you know?
Who has the bigger ego,
All right,
the morning
stop.
show or the afternoon show?
Stop.
Call or text us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline.
What are you
I'm just
doing?
kind of hunky-dory, drink my coffee, talk for 2 hours, work before, work after, play some golf. Very easy to get along with.
Yeah. You tell yourself that. You just keep telling yourself that.
Ask the coworkers. It's national.
Yeah.
Where is it? It is Jalen Williams. It's not National Teammate Day. I don't know if you saw this. Jalen Williams is up for Teammate of the Year in the National Basketball Association, along with 11 other guys. So I wasn't gonna say you answer it between me and Colton. I was gonna say actually mention someone on this list that is not necessarily on air. Who is the Teammate of the Year at ESPN Arkansas? Put you on the spot. In 3 months.
Can I go?
The first 3 months. I'm saying don't mention anyone on air. Just mention someone off air.
Betty and Cindy.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go too.
Betty and Cindy, 100%. So
Teammates of the Year, just like Jalen. Hopefully, Jalen Williams wins that award.
Hey, it's kind of a comfort food day. Rainy, kind of yucky out there, you know. So how about something really good and hearty for lunch today? That's Joe's Grill and Cantina. You can take a trip down memory lane for lunch or dinner today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're bringing back the favorites with their Thursday special and the Kuko's platters. They'll throw back to a flavor and a combination you haven't had in a while. Some of the classic Kuko's dishes that, maybe take you back to 20 or 25 years ago. Maybe that first date with your wife that you went to Kuko's, or maybe that was your place back in the old Phoenix Village Mall back in the day. I'll have to tell you that story some other time. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great food, even better service. You're going to love it. Throwback Thursday today at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Evidently, that's what Chris Beard told Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter yesterday, or in the last couple of days. I'm going to be honest. I'm shocked. I am shocked that we are not talking this week about A&M's new coach, Chris Beard, who has got connections in Texas. I can't remember if he was born there or if he just lived there for a while. But Tommy, Jeff Borzello, who writes for ESPN, said that he's staying at, again, it's widely known he stayed at the school. He engaged with discussions with A&M, but ultimately decided to stay at Ole Miss. He's set to receive a raise and more resources for his staff and a stronger NIL package. So I guess my question that came up when I saw this yesterday, and then we'll get into another piece of this puzzle in a sec. But did he play Arkansas last year and play Texas A&M this year and got more money and more NIL out of it? If you're Chris Beard,
played anybody. I mean, I don't.
Or does he just like Oxford? What do you think, Colton? Or does he just like Oxford, that basketball program, so much, which is close to Memphis?
I was really surprised, too, that he didn't end up in College Station. But at the same time, I do think that now this is becoming a pattern where he's just trying to get as much money as he can and stay in the same place. Because in Oxford, the expectations there cannot be that high for their basketball program because they really have not had one for a long, extended time until he's been there.
They're going to pay him how much?
Exactly.
How much are they going to pay him?
I don't know if that was in the report or if that has been released just yet. But
I
it's
promise you, there's expectations.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more money. But
not as high as they would be in College Station, I guarantee you.
So this is from Brian Davis of the Austin American Statesman, who covers the Texas Longhorns. He says, when the A&M job actually opened, Beard leveraged A&M's interest more for money from Ole Miss. A&M officials understand the importance of this hire, but they're on to their next candidate. They're ripping their AD, Trev Alberts, apart right now for what they call mishandling this, but I don't even know if Beard wanted this. I mean, my mind, I don't know where you were earlier this week, but when I saw it, it's like, yeah, Beard's gone. He's leaving Oxford. But
I thought he was a good fit for that job.
I'll tell you this. Keith Carter, and I don't know how many people we have listening at Perryville right now. I know what I've said about Danny White, who's making the most money of any AD in the SEC. Football team, college football playoff, basketball team, Elite Eight. Baseball team just won the national championship. It's really hard to say he's not the best AD in college sports right now when you're doing the best conference in all of sports. But Keith Carter's right up there with him. I mean, to see what Lane Kiffin and them have been able to do, the Grove Collective's on fire. They got 5,000 plus people. They've got just buttloads of NIL money. Then you look at him keeping Beard on campus, which I didn't think was going to happen. Now, maybe another job opens up and he leaves, but in this case, he didn't. And Bianco's, they've just got a good, solid baseball team, but he's done a really good job there. They
were ready to fire Bianco, and then he wins the Natty.
National championship. They did not have a good season that year, and then all of a sudden he.
Who did Ole Miss beat in the SEC football championship? I can't remember.
But
did they? I mean,
we like to.
I'm trying to remember. Who did they beat in Atlanta? Colton, can you look that up? Google that for me.
But be honest. Who do you want to be right now in football? Arkansas or Ole Miss? Like I hate when Arkansas fans do this when we can make fun of Ole Miss because we've been to a couple SEC championship. Guys, we haven't been relevant in the SEC in 10 years.
Maybe
more than that. Not 10 years because 10 years is 2015. I guess what they go 8-5 that year. It's funny because it's old.
But let's not hold Ole Miss up as hey, that's the standard we want to achieve. I mean, Ole Miss. No, I understand they got some 10-win seasons. I get it. But what is that? Has that made a difference?
I think that's what Arkansas fans feel like they should be. I don't think most Arkansas fans expect to be in Atlanta every year. But I'll tell you what, at least Ole Miss has gotten close.
At least we've been there.
Yeah. At least we've been Brent's in Cersei this morning. Brent, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Ty and Tommy? First of all, let me tell all your listeners, I hope they're safe from last night's storms.
How close do they get to Cersei? I know it's probably a little further north and east of.
Is the Bulldog Cersei, okay?
I would assume. I know I've got power. My sister doesn't. She lives about 10 minutes away in Cersei. But it just rained here really, really bad for about 30 minutes, and then after that, it was just a steady little rain. You know what I'm. The kind of steady rain that just is a nuisance.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to talk about is, y'all were talking about Chris Beard and Keith Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm a Razorback fan. To my way of thinking, Keith Carter is doing an A+ athletic director's job at Ole Miss. I mean, they've got the money. They can keep their basketball coach. Whether he's leveraging them for more money or not, they've got it going on up there with how to fund and athletic programs and things like that. And that's all I got. Who do you think will be the next coach at A&M, Ty?
That's a great question. I was thinking that we might see a domino effect. I thought Beard takes that job, then Mike White leaves Georgia to play his alma mater. And then someone's got to find the Georgia job, but now that's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest, Brent. I got no idea, but it is. It's not like football, and I don't think they really were that impressed initially with the Mike Elko hire. I think they kind of landed on that.
I don't know if they could get him, but I think a guy that fit in this league and would play tough, hard-nosed basketball, and he knows Texas because he was at Stephen F. Austin and he did well there, is Brad Underwood at Illinois. I don't know if you can pluck him from Illinois to get him to College Station, but he understands that state. He understands the recruiting in that state, and I like the brand of ball he plays. Obviously, Arkansas played him. I don't know if he would be a good candidate, but that's a name that comes to mind for me, and I think he's a good enough coach he could compete in the SEC.
And on that note, would he bring the Avicic brothers down there? You got one of them, and then if the other one wants to go play with his brother, would you play?
But he's one of them hard-nosed defense. I mean, he's just one of them guys. So I think he'd work out, Brent, in the league.
Brent, appreciate your call. If you want to jump in here, Lewis Automotive Group hotline open 877-377-6.
And I don't know why it didn't really come together for him at Oklahoma State, but he's done a decent job at Illinois.
Man, I know Coach Sun got them to a Final Four, but that's a tough job, right? Especially now.
What is now? Yeah, it's a whole different deal then.
And that is a unique basketball facility for those that have been to Stillwater and seen it. It's like the entire crowd's on top of it. It's cool. How do you say it? Gallagher Iba is a cool arena because you got like wrestling and basketball there.
Now let me just talk out my backside here for a minute. All right.
Okay.
But go with me. What about Bill Self? Is Bill Self at that moment at Kansas where
he's on his Calipari arc right now?
Right. Where, obviously didn't go well for him in the tournament, didn't have anywhere near the kind of seed or season they expect at Kansas.
Yeah. Bounced by Arkansas again.
would
oh, that's great.
Would he be someone that could, be a brand name? We're talking about old guard coaches, OG coaches. He's amongst that group. National champ. You wouldn't have to sell him in the press conference.
I'd be man. If I was Self, I'd hold out. If I really wanted
hold
to
out for what?
The North Carolina job.
Ooh.
If you're on that line of thinking, they're not going to fire Self. I wouldn't think. They're not happy with him.
He's moving closer in that direction. They're on him. There's heat.
Yeah, and they've got their roster is just depleted.
Is A&M
right
a
now.
good enough job for
No,
Bill Self?
and see that's right. Why would you settle for Texas A&M if you're a Hall of Famer and Bill Self?
But the Hall of Fame aspect is what you almost have to have that label to win in this league.
Despite,
and I know Todd Golden's 39 and doesn't have that, but but you look across this league, there's a lot of guys that are in or going to be in.
Yeah. So to me, Cal didn't settle on Arkansas. It was a mutual thing. He is definitely.
That's what I'm saying. It's Self at that point at Kansas.
I don't think the A&M job is as good as it needs to be.
It's not as good a job as Kansas, and it's not as good a job as Arkansas.
But
you know what? It's better than being fired in a year.
Yeah, but we got to remember this guy's 3 years removed from winning a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Cal was,
which makes him a great hire if A&M could get him.
Yeah, Cal hadn't won a national championship since 2012. There was a difference, and the rub was again the lack of tournament success. And you could say that I can't remember what Kansas did 2 years ago, but they went round of 32, bounced against Arkansas in 2023. I don't remember 2024, and then you lose in the first round. So it's trending the wrong way, like you're talking about. But
nobody wants to be fired.
No.
They could do a lot worse.
You're right. I can't. That is a good question though. Where I don't know how old Self is too. Off just at the top of my head. I don't. He's not even 60. He looks like he's in his 50s, right, Tommy?
I don't know that.
Cole, look that up.
Ages him.
See how old Bill Self is when it comes to that. Let's come back to Arkansas's coach, our coach for a second, and John Calipari.
Born in 62. So what does that make him?
That makes him 62.
He is
62 years old.
Mm-hmm. He's
telling you that hairpiece he wears. Those hair plugs.
Is that not real?
Have made him look a lot younger.
JT and Hot Springs.
He understands Texas. He's coached at Kansas against all those teams down there. He hadn't been at A&M. It's been a while since he coached against A&M, but he understands the recruiting in that part of the world.
His alma mater is Oklahoma State. He played at Oklahoma State. Could you see Oklahoma State pulling him away interconference?
No.
Yeah, see, that's what JT and Hot Springs
No.
says. I don't know if Oklahoma State has the
I just
cash.
know A&M, if they wanted to, could pay him a buttload of money.
Yeah, you're right.
They could make it financially enticing. They could give him the resources, and it's a softer landing than where he may be headed for if he doesn't get this thing turned around in short or like next year at Kansas. Because I think he's got one more year, and then I think the vultures are already starting to circle. I mean, if next year doesn't go right,
because Kansas's basketball program is its cash cow. I mean, the football program's been better the last few years. I don't have a.
But they're in a league that still financially struggles.
Yeah,
and you talk about the North Carolina job, but that league, I just wonder a little bit about the future of the ACC. You're one defection away with Clemson or Florida State leaving for something else in football from that league, I think, collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, people love to have North Carolina basketball. Conferences don't pick schools up for basketball. If they did, Kansas would already be in a better spot. They would. But they don't. It's not how you view and calculate the value of a school.
And it goes back to the move that Frank Broyles made and how he had
those were right at the time, but those dynamics don't even work in today's world.
Wow.
Particularly with rev share coming. Hey, although football season's been gone for about a month, and now we're about to have college basketball season behind us, plenty of action still with Oaklawn Sports. You can download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Get in on all the action, including this weekend's Final Four with futures and outright winners and spreads and totals and player props and game props, even action with football for all those future bets and things that are out there right now. Bet on basketball, both the WNBA and the NBA, hockey, golf, soccer, tennis, table tennis. It's all there for you. And new customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets after you've set your account up each of the first 10 days. You get a second chance on your first bet of the day. If it doesn't work out, they'll give you a free bet up to $100 each day. It's all with the Oaklawn Sports app. Download it now. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
This text comes from Cliff here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying, why would he not take the Texas job before A&M if he was leaving? That's something that we contemplate a little bit, Cliff. We don't know if he was offered. They elected to go with Sean Miller. Don't know if there was a conversation there, but I think that is a job that is, maybe I'm wrong, because I just think Texas is a better basketball job than A&M. Maybe it's not. I mean, you're both in the shadows of two football programs in the 12th man and the one at Darrell K. Royal, but yeah, I don't know. Tommy, I don't know if you saw, you flew out of Dallas or where are you flying out tomorrow? Where are you?
Tulsa.
Okay, you're flying
I'm
out of
hoping
Tulsa.
I get off the ground at 7 a.m.
I am excited. Tulsa's getting nonstops with Southwest to Nashville, which I saw them put out, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
The XNA is finishing up their modernization project. You've seen have you been?
Oh, it's been a nightmare the last 2 or 3 times I've flown out of XNA.
Well, it's supposedly they put out something yesterday. Supposedly it's going to finish in 2026. Recently, I've flown out of Little Rock, flown out of Tulsa. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember flying out of Tulsa growing up, just because Little Rock Airport's right there. But since I moved back to Arkansas after Nashville, I've flown out of Tulsa more than I think I have XNA or Fort Smith in that setup. But I saw that and I was like, good news for everyone here in Northwest Arkansas, River Valley, Harrison Mountain Home, that it's going to be finished relatively quickly within half a year or so.
Well, can you imagine a day like today when it's pouring down rain and you're trying to get your bags out and you're trying to, get in the terminal and it's all under construction. You're just getting soaking wet. The shuttle vans aren't there to pick you up. It'd be a nightmare today.
Now, Delta, help me on this timeline. Delta left Fort Smith post-COVID, right? And has not come back.
No, during COVID and never came back.
Is Fort Smith Airport ever going to...
And it's a great airport, but it has no flights.
Yeah. Is it ever going to get anything back, you think? I think anytime I think
as Tulsa and XNA get stronger, it diminishes
it. Anytime I see more flights added to XNA, I just kind of get a little excited because we know Northwest Arkansas is growing rapidly, and there's people moving in by droves by the day. But you and I fly a decent amount, and it's just I'm happy because rather than having to drive to Dallas and Tulsa and XNA are honestly about the same from where Tommy and I are at, but it's good for Arkansas. Little Rock's had the international airport for a while, and now you're in a situation where you're getting another one, which I think is going to be beneficial to the communities, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but really all across our state with anything else. I don't know how you feel, but anytime I see a flight added or a city added, I kind of fist bump a little bit.
If it's the place you want to go to.
There's a lot of places I want to go to.
Well, Nashville's fine. We go there, time or two a year for SEC stuff, but unless it's a nonstop, Nashville, you can drive.
Yeah, I drive 7. I make it because I fly. I go to 6 hours and 30 minutes, but you can't fly faster. Yeah,
but XNA's had the nonstop with the Legion.
Yep, I'll be on at the end of this month.
Yeah,
it's XNA. Listen, people make fun of XNA and Breeze. Never had any issues on either of those flights. And
that's not a Breeze flight.
No, people make fun of Allegiant and Breeze, but I've never had an issue on either of those airlines at all.
Other than
you talk about they charge you an arm and a leg, but you still, if you calculate it, it's still cheaper than Southwest, American, Delta, wherever, United.
But if they ever cancel the flight, you're just hosed. There's no next flight. There's no the next day. There's no. You're stuck. And we're going to give you your $98 back. Well, gee, thanks. Or if you oversleep or traffic is bad, there's no moving back to the next flight. There's no standby list.
You're out of luck, unfortunately, in that situation.
Is what you are. Hey, we're brought to you by you. And if that happens, I'm calling Jackie Mock at Mock Legal Solutions.
Can you sue an entire airline?
Yeah, we're going to.
All right.
Class action suits, what we're going to go after. Seriously, though, Jackie's there for you with 2 locations now. They have opened up recently. Really kind of the grand opening is this month in Salisaw, right across from the courthouse, Salisaw, Oklahoma, Sequoia in LaFleur County. You now have another option for legal representation. And if you're needing someone to help with family law, Jackie is well versed and very talented in that area, but also car wreck cases, slip and fall cases at work or somewhere else. Boy, today's a day you got to be careful. You could slip and fall. Dog bite cases. I mean, she's on her game and understands it. And they also understand that, hey, I ain't got $5,000 for a deposit for a retainer just to get the process going. So they will work with you when it comes to understandable, easy to handle flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans that make this to something that you can accomplish. So if you find yourself needing a lawyer, Jackie Mock is the one. 479-769-1505. 479-769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
All right, when we return, SEC update, getting a little bit of what Todd Golden had to say about his mentor, Bruce Pearl. Take a look at the games this weekend in San Antonio.
This is the Morning Rush.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, appreciate you guys. Take my call. Listen to you guys all the time on my drive.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
He never had a hog on his helmet. This is the Morning Rush.
Every Wednesday night, take the kids to Joe's Grill and Cantina. They will get a delicious meal for $5. And Joe's is bringing out the crayons for a coloring contest where the kids can win cool prizes. And the fun is just starting. It's Kids Karaoke Night. Let that star shine. Join Joe's every Wednesday for Kids Night with the fun atmosphere of Joe's. Come for the food, stay for the fun. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-993-1327. 800-993-1327. 800-993-1327. That's 800-993-1327.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally held the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
It's crazy, to be honest. It's surreal. You know, as you know, Bruce is one of my mentors, and his son Steven's one of my best friends. And I FaceTimed with Steven last night after they got the win. We were just sitting there shaking our head like, really? You know, we're meeting up again here in the Final Four. Like, it's hard to believe, but I'm incredibly happy for them. Just proud of the success that their program's had, and I know they feel the same way about us. If you're going to play somebody you care about, you might as well make it in the Final Four, where at least one of you guys will have an opportunity to go win the national championship in the next game you play in.
That's Florida head coach Todd Golden talking to CBS Sports' John Rothstein about their upcoming matchup against the Auburn Tigers. If you haven't heard this, Todd Golden was director of basketball ops for Bruce Pearl. I think when he got hired back in 2014, if I remember that correctly. It's an interesting dynamic this weekend. You got the old heads versus the young bucks. Pearl 66, Sampson 69, Golden's 39, Shire's 37. What plays out this weekend? Do the young guys get the old dogs, or the old dogs show the young guys that, hey, we've been around for a while? Now, it was pointed out earlier by Kevin Rogers accurately that Kelvin Sampson is in his second Final Four here in Houston, and then also his third Final Four overall. I mean, Oklahoma 0-2 is wild. I guess Lon Kruger took the Sooners to a Final Four as well, if I remember that right.
Took Florida to a Final Four, too.
94. Same year as Arkansas was there. Duke, Arkansas beat, Arizona in that initial Final Four game on the way to beating Duke in the national championship. Man, doing that in Charlotte, I can't imagine being an Arkansas fan and winning that game in Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, that would have been just to do it in basically their home. I mean, the home state of all things would have just been incredible to be there for that. We got a text earlier from John and Mount Nome on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Keyshawn Hall, he's asking about UCF transfer Keyshawn Hall, who Arkansas apparently has been on. Keyshawn Hall has signed with the Auburn Tigers. That was announced either this morning or yesterday, whatever it was. So one of the guys, I think the Morez Johnson kid, the Illinois kid, he's going to Michigan. So those are a couple names that I know Arkansas fans have seen, that there's at least been expressed reports of interest, but haven't necessarily chosen the Razorbacks. I mean, you got till the 22nd with the transfer portal. Tommy, does Arkansas get a commit this week? You mentioned the dead period for high schools. Do we see a commit over the weekend? Is it post Final Four?
And I don't. How much of the staff's going to San Antonio? You know, Cal will be there, and I would assume Kenny Payne and some of the top assistant. I mean, is everyone there? I'm not sure how all that's going to work with Cal and his staff. So that being said, how much work is going into the portal? Who's still watching the portal? While those guys are at the coaching conference, coaching convention, and the Final Four.
Jeremy in Clarksville asking about Nick Pringle. Colin, you might double check me on this. I don't think the former Alabama and South Carolina Gamecock, I don't think he's signed anywhere. I think he's still in the portal right now. He a big man, that can at least play in the SEC, that there has been reported interest from Arkansas with him, at least contact. So someone to keep an eye on, Jeremy and everyone else, when it comes to your basketball team. For me, you look at the front lines of the college basketball Final Four. I mean, I know they're few and far between, but I mean, you got to go get a stud down low. And I don't have like a Rolodex or a list of those guys that are currently in the transfer portal, but Cal's got his guards. You lose Adu and you lose Big Z, or your tallest. And
it's clear what the needs are.
Yeah. It's just a matter of if you can convince them or not. You brought up something interesting earlier. The question of like, I don't know if it's like the dawn of college basketball nowadays, but Cal obviously was very much that, and still is at near the top, if not the top of the list. But he doesn't have that same recruiting edge that he had 10 years ago, as over some of the other coaches. Now Kay's out, Williams is out, Jay Wright's out. Boeheim's out, so he doesn't have to necessarily compete against all these Hall of Famers all the time, even though he beat two of them on the way to a Sweet 16. But like, kids value different things nowadays than they did 10 years ago.
What do their parents value, though? I think we also overlooked the parent influence.
Is that still
in the initial decision?
Is that still like a? Do you think that's still a heavy impact in today's day and age?
With a high school
when the
kid?
kids,
with a high school kid,
yeah,
or a transfer portal kid?
Both.
I
It's
think
obviously
I think with a high school kid, it's a bigger impact than maybe the kid's thought himself in some cases.
And any of these kids that are about to get serious money to go anywhere, they've known that for the last 2 or 3 years. Everyone's made that aware to them that they're about to get a huge payday. So their parents obviously know too.
Well, and they planned on it. They've hopefully put the right people around them and in their lives. But no, I think the parental influence is,
still strong in high school, just not as much in the transfer.
Well, I don't know.
portal.
I haven't been through. But I just know, talking with kids that have went through it out of the high school ranks, the parents' input, I think, is maybe the number one thing. We all assume it's about money. The money's not different enough from school to school. It's less, even for the top flight guys, how much money you're going to get. I mean, really, from the stories I've heard, it's the guy that's going to get 50 instead of 25,000. It's not the guy that's going to get 950 instead of $1 million. I mean, there's just, I know that's $50,000 difference, but it really doesn't make that much difference when you're talking those kind of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't scale the same. So the percentages are different, I guess, obviously. So, I think when you're talking about these guys Arkansas's on, the difference in money's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's the parental influence. It's the connection with the coach. It's, I like that town versus this town better, because you're not going to pay someone $2 million in one place and $1 million in another. Not generally. I mean, you kind of slot in where you slot in pretty much with each school.
And revenue also, with whether it's Remy Cofield here, the new general manager of Arkansas Athletics, or when the revenue sharing comes down, I think people are going to have a better idea of what their worth actually is on that. Last thing here in your SEC update. How many SEC baseball games does Arkansas get in this weekend? I tend to think it's just going to be 2. I don't think it's going to be 1. I think it's going to be 2.
I hope you're right.
Because you made a good point earlier. It's like you don't want to lose this weekend against an 0-9 team when you could potentially get 3 more wins in the Southeastern Conference. And you don't want to be
10% of the games you're supposed to play in this league. Keep an eye on other schools this weekend. How many did they get in? We're not the only place where it's going to
you're right.
have rain this weekend. But you look at right now, just the weather app on the phone, it's going to rain all day Friday and all day Saturday until mid-afternoon. Maybe they get one in Saturday night and one Sunday. I don't see any way they're going to get 3 in at this point, based on the current forecast at least. All right, your SEC updates brought to you by Wheels RV. They're getting ready for the NWA RV show and outdoor party. They're hoping all this rain gets out of here for April 12th and 13th. So all this rain now hopefully will give them a good, clear weekend for the big event coming up. It's going to be at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers. That's right behind Nukes. They have teamed up with Moix RV to get all the big brands like Grand Design and Jayco and Brinkley and Flagstaff and Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago. They're bringing them all to one place, plus on-site financing available as well. So make plans now to attend the NWARV show and outdoor party. We'll have bounce-arounds for the kids and food trucks and other things going on as well. That's the NWARV show and outdoor party, April 12th and 13th in Rogers, brought to you by Wheels RV.
This burrito is delicious, but it is filling.
Did you know that it's National Burrito Day? I'd like to make a statement here at 10:38 on Thursday edition of the Morning Rush. I have found, so pizza has been my favorite food my entire life. I think that's finally changed. I don't know if my palate's just changed over, your taste buds change every 7 years, I think it is. My now new favorite food is a burrito. I calculated.
Beef or chicken?
I do, steak. An asada burrito, some salsa on the side.
Little steak, little strawberry preserves.
Two El Pastor tacos. I eat pizza at least twice a week, but
Wasn't he just talking about eating clean yesterday?
Yeah, but there's weekends. There's weekends and stuff. But burritos are clean. There's meat.
Really?
There's meat.
Clean you out.
There's they do. But yeah, I've
steak, guacamole,
Braley asked
sour cream, cheese, tomatoes.
Hold on, what did you
Maybe
say?
a little bit of rice.
Steak, guacamole. I can't. I hate sour cream.
Oh.
Steak, guacamole, tomatoes, onions,
cheese.
There's something.
Maybe a little bit of rice.
Jalapenos, rice, hot sauce. That's all good. I'm not a sour cream guy.
I like sour
B
cream.
in Clarksville says you can't put ranch on a burrito. I don't put ranch on a burrito, to be honest.
Do you like chimichangas too?
I love chimichangas. Ryan in Prairie Grove says very good. Going all asada on us. LOL. Yeah, steak is now.
As long as it's good steak.
Oh, I don't care. It can be dog steak. It's a burrito, man. It all caramelizes and comes together. It's,
all right.
It's just
the caramelized onions do help.
Yes, they do in that situation. Again, National Burrito Day. Go out and celebrate. I had one last night. I'm going to have one not tonight, but I'm going to celebrate it a day later.
Big plans.
Big plans. Man.
You got that in your planner? You write that in your planner?
I do, actually.
Burrito.
I actually do.
6:15 p.m. You know?
You got to mark out time to figure out how to fold it.
I get made fun of for this planner, even though it's like if I ever lost this, I'd be just absolutely screwed in life. But it's never led me wrong. It's always there. It's always accurate. It's got everything I need right there.
What has led you wrong?
A lot of things.
Okay, so it's not the planner's fault. It's something else.
Whiskey, vodka, tequila, Jose Cuervo, all that stuff.
Merriam-Webster, all
Merriam-Webster, all those years ago.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. They're always there and ready to go. Hopefully the rain's not going to wipe out a bunch of the fishing, but I know that with the rainfall right now, it's probably not the best day to be on the White River.
Sorry, Seth says my brain has led me wrong many times.
That's rhetorical at this point. But at Gaston's, they've got the perfect respite.
Clint and Jake won't lead.
They will not lead you.
No.
Right now, it'd be a great day. Get in that cabin, just let the rain fall down on that roof. It might be a little warm for a fire for some, but I'd get a fire going. That crackle, the smell. There's something about the smell and the sound of a fire in the fireplace. Just is relaxing, right? And Gaston's has many of their cabins and lodges, 80 of them. Most have a fireplace, private kitchen if you want to cook your own meals. I love going down to the restaurant. Ty, you like that bow tie chicken, blackened chicken pasta.
Yes,
that's really
phenomenal.
Good. Their burgers just hard to beat. And then weekends they can do the prime rib. So you can go and just hang out at Gaston's. And right now is the perfect time to plan that getaway. 870-431-5202. It's Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's. A first-class time every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Here's the final entry into the Final Four, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty Richardson back in my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shiner Bock, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa supreme and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. Participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Kick out Wagner. Right side, Flan. Deep three from Boogie is good.
Boogie Flan with 12. It's 44-42.
So Boogie Flan has been named one of the 25 finalists for the 2025 Kyle Mesa Award, which is presented to the best freshman in college basketball. He's also been named a freshman All-America as well. He's the 10th guy to do it in the history of Razorback basketball. List includes Patrick Beverly, A.B., Ronnie Brewer, Courtney Fortson, Joe Johnson, Moses Moody, Marshawn Powell, Scotty Thurman, and Corliss Williamson. He's not going to win the Kyle Macy Award. That's going to go to Cooper Flagg. But we talked a little bit earlier in the show, and I want to talk a little more about Boogie and maybe what his timeline like and what his future could be moving forward.
First, let me tell you about the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. If you're thinking about crappie fishing and getting back out there when the water's right and the weather's right, you need to take the Bobby Garland Baby Shad along with you. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait, and there's a reason. It's got that sleek back, that streamlined belly, a quivering tail. It's a bait that won't stop moving. No matter the temps, no matter the conditions, it's built for dead sticking and action-based techniques. Find the Bobby Garland Baby Shad in a variety of colors. You'll find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, your favorite stores everywhere, and LureNet.com. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
So right now, Boogie is projected 38th overall on ESPN, 26th on CBS Sports, 44th on Bleacher Report, and 30th on Tankathon. Yahoo Sports does not have him listed whatsoever. So that begs the question. It's like, hey, what is he going to do with his future moving forward? And when it comes to draft status and timelines and everything else, I know everyone is on kind of their own timeline when it comes to that. But you made a point earlier, which I found interesting. It's like one of the things I presented was, well, what about the competition coming in with Darius Acuff and Isaiah Sealy and also Malik Thomas? And you said, well, if he's worried about that, then maybe he's not a top end draft pick and everything else. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. That being said, do you think that plays in his decision? Like the fact
shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. But I don't know. You're asking me to read his mind. I would think these guys are confident enough. We know the young guys coming in based on, was it Thomas or Acuff?
It's Thomas. Malik Thomas is not lacking confidence.
Not lacking confidence. So,
Let's
I mean,
put
they're
it
not worried
lightly.
about, hey, I'm not coming to Arkansas because Boogie Flan's there.
Yeah, this is what Acuff had to say.
And he want me to come in, just play how I play. Don't come in trying to do nothing different. Play how I play. He had many great guards. I ain't just the first one coming in. So, just playing my game, score high, score, pass, high pass, and, just being a dog for sure.
I will say from a ranking standpoint, I think Boogie was somewhere around like 16 or so. Malik and Darius is the #1 point guard, and Malik's the #1 shooting guard, depending on what you like. They're ranked higher than Boogie was, at least from last season. That doesn't mean they're going to amount to a freshman All-America, but just from a ranking standpoint.
But if that worries you when you're a year further in your development, then you're not the right guy for the job to begin with. So if you're leaving to go to the NBA because you're afraid of the high school competition that's coming in that could take your job, then you're probably making the wrong decision. Because guess what? The guys in the NBA aren't bad either. They're no slouch. So even in the G League. So if that is part of your thought process at all, you're already in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cal has mentioned several times since the end to Arkansas season. I say several times, 2 or 3 times, whatever it was, that he has to talk to his guys first. Those guys being Trevor Brazile, Carter Knox, Boogie Flan, Adu Thero, and kind of we got a text earlier. It's somewhere out of Fayetteville. I'm trying to find it. Aaron in Fayetteville. This is his text here on the Lewis Automotive Group Holland. From the information he's gathered, I have no idea what the sources are. Knox, Richmond, TB are coming back for sure. Flan and DJ are 50-50. Adu is 60-40 in favor of coming back. DJ would not go to the NBA.
Who said that?
Aaron in Fayetteville. And again, I don't know what.
Based on what?
That's a great question. His sources. He
His
says
source- oh. Okay.
all subject to change, of course.
Oh, okay.
with the setup.
With all due respect.
And that's it. And with all due respect. And
with all due respect.
And that is like, not that DJ's afraid of competition, because I think we saw this year this kid stepped up in a big way for this Arkansas basketball team and your program, but that's in the bag. I think guys a lot of time want the promise of playing time, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen.
You got to earn it.
Yeah.
You gotta
you're
earn it.
right. You're but that's not how everyone thinks today.
Earn it. No, I want to be given. I don't want to earn, just give, and let's pay in advance too. What are your thoughts? You can call or text us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
Last thing here, and as we close out the show today.
It's on the sneak. Pyle drives his way in. Touchdown. This play's been virtually unstoppable.
They have tabled the tush push for now. Like the owners met and they're like, we hadn't decided what we're going to do yet.
They'll do nothing.
So for now,
Which
it's like
fine.
the do nothing.
Aren't they changing kickoffs again?
I think
Going
so.
to move that out where a touchback is going to be at the 35. They're trying to make action exciting. The problem with the tush push is it's not really football.
Where do you
and
stand
it's
on
not
it?
exciting.
Should they knock it out completely? Should
Yes,
it be
'cause I think
eradicated from the NFL?
Eradicated is an awfully strong word, but yes, I would. How do you define it so that you can officiate it? You got to be able to define it. That's the other problem with the tush push is where exactly is the ball?
Also, do you eliminate QB sneaks as a whole?
Well, I mean,
is that considered a tush
no,
push?
you
What
can't
Tom
get rid of
Brady
it.
did all those years?
But are you being assisted from behind?
Okay, so as long as
you're running back pushing you forward, is it more than one player? I mean, you got to define what this is. If you can't define it in a sentence or two, then it's going to be hard to ban it. So,
Well-
hey, throughout the rest of the day, take the Hit That Line Now app with you, powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. The Hit That Line Now app, available in the Apple App Store.
Halftime coming up next with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in